Tommy Wood along with John Holder. It may be a hot day, but it's still a great day for football. Anytime you can get together. And, John, we've got a great kickoff of today's event.
Yeah, our Spring Gridiron Classic every year at JSU Stadium. We've got 4 games today. Kicking off with our first game, Central Clay County, defending 5A state champions, taking on Stanhope Elmore. Followed by that, another great matchup between Sparkman and Gardendale. Then we look at some of the smaller schools. We go down the line with Dora and Springville later on this afternoon, and we'll cap it off with a game this afternoon between the Lynn Bears and Phil Campbell, 2 Northwest Alabama teams coming in to Central Alabama, East Central Alabama to play football today. Phil Campbell replacing Coosa Christian on the schedule at the last moment.
We'll be back with kickoff in just a few moments. Again, we'll kick off our Gridiron Challenge right here in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
It is a sun-baked afternoon here at Burgess-Snow Field. Tommy Wood, John Holder getting set for the Spring Gridiron Challenge. You see a beautiful look at the stadium and a good look there at Coach Brian Bradford. His second season coming up. Stanhope Elmore 6-5 last year, and again continuing to build there. Got a couple of interesting parts that are going to fall into place this year. And there you see Danny Horn sitting at 299 wins. Last year, his first season at Clay Central. And, John, I guess we saw him in the spring last year. They set the bar high with a season like they had a year ago.
We saw him here against Lawrence County at the JSU Spring Gridiron Classic last year on a day just like today. They were very impressive, but we had no idea that was a state championship caliber team that probably improved as much as anyone from the beginning of the season to the end of the season and won the 5A state title. His 7th state championship in his career, 299 wins heading into 2019.
We'll get our first look at the Stanhope defense as you take a look at some of the players there. And one guy we want to take a look at is T.J. Jackson. He is a defensive end for Coach Brian Bradford. And you got a young man there. He's got college offers already from Troy, South Alabama, Tulane, Southern Miss, and Arkansas State. He is a tough young man, and you may see him make several plays in the backfield, but he's going to be a player to reckon with for this Volunteer offense as they will be led at quarterback by Boyd Ogles. But more importantly, the running back of Quentin Knight. That may be last year the player that came along. He was an all-state performer after getting off to a slow start. Really developed into a great running back before the season was done.
Yeah, he was great last year, phenomenal in that state championship game. This offense last year came on as well, scoring 43 points in the state championship game win over Viger down at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. And, of course, this is the returning quarterback off of that state championship team as well. Kicking today, obviously the teams only have 10 days total, and this is one of the 10, Tommy, in spring practice. So this counts as one of the 10 practices that you can have. So only 9 days, a couple of those have to be in conditioning and so forth. So we're not going to see any live kicking today. So they'll start the ball. Will Clay Central at the 35-yard line here at JSU Stadium. About a minute away from kickoff. So we are counting down to on the clock just less than 1 minute here at JSU Stadium. So we said 4 games coming up today. This will be a full game. All of these, as far as we know, will be full games today here at JSU. Behind this one, we've got a great matchup coming between Gardendale and Sparkman. Big school game. Then we go down to Springville and Dora. And as we said, the last game will be Lynn taking on Phil Campbell, 2 Northwest Alabama teams making the 3-hour trip across state to play here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, the way we understand it, they will all play 4 quarters. Now, the formats may differ as the day goes on. I think that this game, as we start off the day, they are expecting to play the varsity starters pretty much straight up for the first half. And then as the second half, they'll start making some substitutions during the second period. We'll see a lot of the younger players in the second half. Other games today, they've got it divided up. The first half is varsity. The third period may be JV, and actually some of the younger players playing in the final set. As we are about to get underway here, and the Vols will start off on offense. Boyd Ogles again lines up in the shotgun quarterback position. Got receivers 2 to his right, 1 to his left. And I don't know that you'll see anything really fancy on play 1, but they hand it off Quentin Knight. He will split through a couple of defenders, fall forward for a yard on the first play. And a good hard hit in there by that defense from Stanhope Elmore. They are really surrounding the football there on that first play and got to the football in a hurry.
Yeah, outside linebacker Fred Bass, strong safety Jeremy Thompson coming up. A couple of big licks, only a gain of 1 there for Clay Central.
Second down at about 9 here. And we got movement on the right side, and there'll be a lot of pointing at each other, and somewhere between Micah Harris out there for Clay Central, and also you had Toby Martin for Stanhope Elmore, and they will say a dead ball foul, going to be offsides, and so that will move it forward, set up a second down. Instead of looking at 9, you're looking more at 4, and a very manageable second down for the Volunteers.
Well, like 18, Toby Martin got a step into the neutral zone and a free 5 yards for the Vols.
Good look at Boyd Ogles, the quarterback. He will be a junior this fall. Got some pressure, throwing it late, going to be picked off as it goes off of the intended receiver, Caden McCain, and it is hauled out of the air. Good play defensively that time, Stanhope Elmore. That is going to be by Dylan Davis. He'll get the pick. Stanhope Elmore's got it 1st and 10.
See the replay here. Ogles, good protection this time, really no pressure. Turns it loose by the slip screen off the hands of the receiver right into the hands of number 10, Dylan Davis, the inside linebacker. A quick turnover, and it will be Stanhope Elmore. Good field position now inside Vol territory at the 44.
So Stanhope takes over, 1st down and 10. And going to give the give on the left side. Nothing there. J.D. McNeely with the first hit for the Volunteers. And he's able to bring down Trey Duncan in the backfield.
McNeely, a great football player, upcoming senior inside linebacker for the Vols. I know they gave up 42 points, Tom, in the state championship game against Viger, but defense is still the calling card of a Danny Horn team, and still defense is the name of the game in Clay County.
Again, quarterback keeper around the right side, not a lot of room there. Like at the bottom of the pile there, looks to be number 70, or is that 90? That is 90, Davion Phillips. Just the quarterback keeper for Jalen Walker there. Facing a 3rd and long here for the Mustangs.
The scary part about playing Clay Central this year, they look much more athletic, bigger, physical, better shape than they did even a year ago. And this is the team last year that went on and won the state championship, and they are very impressive physically, both sides of the football. And we get movement up front there. It looks like over here the right tackle probably moved for, I think that's going to be the call over here, is that's Kentwan Kent. He's listed as a center, but they had him lined up this time over here at right guard.
Going to be 3rd down and long, and one player to watch over here for Stanhope Elmore on the near side. That is going to be Connor Bradford, number 14. He has several offers as a wide receiver, great hands, and they had the coverage they wanted there, had one-on-one on the outside over here on the near side of the field. Now, after the loss, they'll have to switch formations, and again, back to pass. Looking for the screen. It's going to be incomplete. Good coverage out there. That is going to be Bickerstaff on the stop for the Volunteers, as he was right on Trey Duncan. So 4th down, and Stanhope Elmore not getting a lot on that first possession. They'll have to punt the football away in theory.
Well, great coverage that time. Just totally read perfectly by this Clay Central defense. Bickerstaff in the area, even if he caught the pass, it's going to be a big loss there, as we see again. Pretty good protection that time, but look at the reaction by the Clay Central defense. They had everything covered. Nice play by Bickerstaff here. The simulated punt going to take it down to the 20-yard line, where it will be Clay Central football here on a hot afternoon at JSU. Expecting a high today of 88 degrees. We're already well into the 80s on the turf down there. Typically, we've had a lot of games here through the years in this kind of weather. Typically, that temperature on the turf is going to approach 100 at some point in the middle of the afternoon, as actual temperature on the field will be.
Yeah, very fortunate for us to be up here in this cool press box here on this Saturday. So Volunteer offense out there for the 2nd time. This time they'll give it to Knight. He's hitting the backfield, and that is the guy we talked about in the pregame. And that is going to be T.J. Jackson. Looking at this America's First replay. The give, and Jackson just comes off the edge and grabs those legs in the backfield, and he'll lose a yard there. Good penetration for T.J. Jackson.
Outstanding athlete. Listed him as a defensive end, but they're playing a lot as a nose tackle. He's head up on the center for most of this first two possessions we've seen for Stanhope Elmore.
They'll go back to the give. Will the Vols offense. Knight's in the backfield, and a flag comes in as well. So the Volunteer offense not really getting out of the gates quickly here in the opening stanza. And John, you talk about when you look at spring practice, most of the time, this is what you expect. Some penalties, some drop snaps, errant snaps, things such as that. And right now, neither offense showing a lot of consistency here early.
And one thing, too, you know, that old adage about the defense is always ahead of the offense early in the season, certainly in spring, because there's so much that has to go with timing and memorizing plays and getting your execution down that goes into the offense rather than the defense, where sometimes on defense you can just pin your ears back and come. So the defense usually always ahead of the offense, and when we see spring games like this, typically what we see when there are mistakes made is on that offensive side of the ball.
So a third down at a 12 here for the Volunteers, and they'll give it again. Nothing doing in the backfield again. Great defensive play, and that is going to be T.J. Jackson again. He's all in the Volunteer backfield, and now the Vols going to have to punt the football away.
No one touched Jackson that time. He just had a spin move, came to the outside, and another big loss. T.J. Jackson, the Division I prospect, playing nose guard. Maybe at the college level might shift out and play at end, maybe at tackle. But he's an impressive-looking athlete, and he has so far in the first two possessions by Clay Central been unblockable.
Yeah, he has been in on about 4 tackles here on the first, I guess, 5 or 6 plays for Clay Central. They're going to punt the football away. Just work on the punting, and instead it goes over the punter's head. So I guess in that situation,
are we going to have a safety here, or are we going to?
Yeah.
Are they still going to simulate?
Yeah, they'll let him go ahead and punt it away and let it roll, and it's going to be fielded. So now they can spot the football, and when we come back, Stanhope Elmore, second offensive possession. Let's see if they can get an offense going here in the early stages. No score from Burgess-Snow Field. We'll be back in just a moment.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu now includes burgers, shakes, and delicious cheddar muffins. Large groups are always welcome, and Dad's does catering too. And Dad's offers fast, friendly service, and they're kid-friendly. Dine in or drive-through. Dad's Barbecue, family owned since 1985, with 2 locations in Anniston to serve you.
I got back my smack talk touchdown, hole-in-one, 3-point home run, hat trick, pavement pounding, record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up, and I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
You see that Volunteer defense still turning it up. The heat even more on Stanhope Elmore. First down, they tried a quick screen on the outside, and an errant pass there brought up second down, and the quarterback keeper this time by Jalen Walker. No gain on that play, so third down and long now for Stanhope Elmore.
Again, timing so key on offense. We've already seen really 2 screen passes trying to do the slip screen in Stanhope Elmore, and timing's been terrible, to be honest with you, on both of those.
Looks out, and the flats throw is out there and incomplete. Trying to find his tight end, slipping out to the side. Can't connect on that one. And it looked like that was intended for Chase Eddings. And it's incomplete, so fourth down. And you look, Stanhope Elmore right here at the Volunteer 35-yard line. They try to go for it here instead of going with the punt, because it would put it down. Actually, probably right outside the goal line instead of pinning them deep. The Mustang's going to roll the dice here on fourth down and 10. Going to throw a fade pattern out there. Got a man and overshoots him by a couple of yards. Coverage out there. Pretty good shape for Elisha McNeil. Nowhere to put that football, and Volunteers will take over for their third offensive possession. Not had a lot of yardage here in the early going, John.
One thing too, Tommy, is these two teams, these are not teams that know each other very well.
Right.
And so you're so worried about yourself in the springtime that you're really not doing any scouting. You're not worried about necessarily winning or losing. So one of the things that happens is you really have no idea what the other team's going to do, what they're running team? Are they a passing team? You're really having to go by what you did last year. And you're really not spending much time game planning because you're so worried about yourself. And so far, what we've seen is Stanhope Elmore trying to throw the football virtually on every down.
Boyd Ogles in there at quarterback. They'll stay with the run. Knight had a little bit of a gap, but good defensive play again by the Mustangs. Able to trip him up before he can really get through the hole. A good look there at Dylan Davis. Had the interception earlier. It comes up with a big stop there. 2nd down and 9 for the Volunteers.
Coach Horn keeping it pretty vanilla. Just inside runs for the most part in the first 3 possessions here for the Vols.
Ogles this time going to get back to pass. Double pumps, and it's almost picked off again. They tip it at the line, and on the 2 occasions you've seen Ogles back to pass, he has gone with a double pump and doesn't really look comfortable with his intended receiver that time. And when he pulls it down, as you look at the America's First replay, he looks for and wants his receiver there, doesn't get it, comes back, and then it's going to be tipped at the line, and almost a 2nd pick of the day for Dylan Davis.
Dylan Davis, the middle linebacker, active everywhere it seems to be for this Mustang defense. And quickly another 3rd and long now for the Vols.
As you said, the timing seems to be the early issue for both of these offenses. This time low snap. He'll give it off. Quentin Knight on the left side, and pursuit will chase him down from behind, able to slip through the first one. But again, as you look at it, timing is such an issue, and it's got to start with a good snap. You see Ogles expecting it up high, has to go to the ground to get it. The handoff is dangerous when you have to force it like that. And so the Volunteer offense not able to get anything going here in the early stages.
First time we've seen Knight try to really get to the outside. A few more yards, probably. I guess that's the biggest yardage gain that Clay Central has had from the line of scrimmage, a 3-yard gain, and now a simulated punt. Interesting here. Stanhope Elmore has a receiver back, but he's the only Mustang on the field. They're not even putting the other 10 players out on the field.
Punt? How about that punt there? They'll mark it at the 31-yard line. Clay Yates, beautiful spiral punt. And that's an area that I think the Volunteers are going to be stronger. Talking to Coach Danny Horn this week. Last year, Yates handled the punting and the kicking duties. He's slated to do that again. And really last year he improved as the season went on. Of course, hitting a game-winner extra point against Viger at Jordan-Hare Stadium with, 30 seconds left in the ballgame.
See if Stanhope Elmore maybe tries to go to the run game a little bit. Their short passing game has not been very effective here in the first quarter, about halfway through. So let's see if they can get a running game going.
They will go on the left side, and a gap across the 35-yard line. 40 got a flag back at the 31-yard line, but a good run that time. On the carry is Adrian Lasky. We expected to see a lot of Trey Duncan. That time Lasky gets a good gain, but it's coming back with a holding call, as you see there.
Well, there was a nice hold over there. We know why we had a nice hold, because there was a big hold over there. We already had 2 holding calls in this game, and we've had a turnover. We've had what would have been a safety on a botched punt. So we've had a little bit of everything so far, about halfway through quarter number 1.
That'll make it about first down, and looks like close to 19 and more like 20 yards to go. See if Stanhope goes back to the run game here after some success on that last play. Nope, quick pitch on the outside and incomplete. Good coverage out here. They tried to hit Teddy Harris, another outstanding player for this Stanhope Elmore offense, but the coverage applied that time by Chris Jennings of the Volunteers. Nowhere to put the football. 2nd down and about, they marked it forward to the 24-yard line.
Clay Central's corners just sitting down on the routes here. They're expecting, we really haven't seen a long pass even be attempted. Maybe that fade pattern on that 4th down play by Stanhope Elmore. Other than that, it's been really screen passes, inside screens. And right now the corners are just sitting down on that for Clay Central.
I did want to question, because it is a spring game. I couldn't understand how you gain 4 on an incomplete pass. They do move it back now to the 20-yard line.
Well, you know, the officials are having to, this is spring training for them,
right.
too.
Back to pass. Looking. Throw it out in the flats, and had his hands on it, but a good pop. And it's incomplete. Threw it out there to Bradford. Usually sure-handed, but a good hit out there. I believe that was McNeil again on the hit. And he jars it loose, brings up 3rd down, about 20. Look here at this America's First replay. The catch is there, and McNeil with a great separation as he unloads and jars that football loose.
would have been short of the first down anyway by about 2 yards, and so we'll have a third down coming up, another third and long. They've got to go to the 41, so about 20 yards.
Quarterback keeper tries to ride in, and nothing there. J.D. McNeely and also Davion Phillips combined for the stop. And Mustang's going to have to punt the football away again. 5:41 and rolling left here in this first period. We're scoreless. We've not had a lot of offense by either team, to be perfectly honest with you. Like we talked about, the timing has been the issue, it seems like, on both sides. And really, when you play a game like this, it's hard to have simulated that in practice. And as you said, John, you only get 9 days to try to do what you can. So, you know, this is kind of what both coaches, I think, expected.
And as a result of the penalty, field position now the best for Clay Central in the game. They'll have the ball at their own 49 to start. This is the best starting field position already. We're 5:25, Tommy, to go, to show you how much we've had 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. 5:25 to go here in this opening quarter. This is already the Vols' 4th possession of the game. They had 4 possessions in about 6.5 minutes.
It's Brian Bradford, known for his offensive explosions, having some trouble getting it started. And Coach Danny Horn looking on intently there. Here come the Vols, first down and 10. They'll start this drive at the 49. Try the speed sweep. Javon Wood gets to the edge, and he'll be butted out of bounds after he gains a couple and make it about 3, so second down and 7.
We haven't had a first down or a completed pass in this game, and really that probably ties the largest gain, at least for Clay Central, from the line of scrimmage. 3 yards, that kind of tells the story of this game. But Clay Central starting to find a little bit on the outside. Nothing on the inside, but they're starting to go a little bit away from that Stanhope Elmore interior defense, getting the outside and at least getting a few yards. And earlier, the first 2 possessions, a lot of negative plays for the Vols.
Ogles on second down. Again, a low snap, gives it off to Knight. Knight will fall forward and move it for a couple of yards. You see some of the strength there of Quentin Knight, but the snaps getting back to the quarterback, it's just not fluid right now. And as you saw right there, it throws the timing off on every play, and it's always a dangerous handoff when you come from the ground up and try to get it into the belly of your running back.
Yeah, it throws and we talked about timing, and nothing throws the timing of a playoff than the quarterback having to reach down, grab that football, take his eye off of the defense, reach down to grab the football, and then everything kind of turns into chaos after that.
Third down, about 5 right here. And a stoppage of play, flag over here on the near side. And if this is on the Vols, yeah, and it will be a legal procedure against Central Clay. So I think a wide receiver out here on the near side started a little bit early. I think it may have been, looks like 81 Bailey Chappell. Got out of his stance a little early. And now instead of 3rd and 5, you got it 3rd and 10 right back at your own 49, which is where you started the drive. 7
combined possessions already in this game. Reason for that is a lot of penalties, a lot of incomplete passes as we roll toward 4.5 to go in the opening quarter.
We'll bring Carter Young across the formation. Ogles gets back looking for the screen, and just nothing there. That time, Stanhope Elmore did a great job of sniffing that out. They had defenders all around, nowhere to put the football for Ogles. And the Volunteers are going to have to punt it away again, so another 3 and out for this Volunteer offense.
T.J. Jackson was coming in from the outside. Also, William Whitlow, another fine-looking defensive lineman for the Mustangs, coming from the outside as well. So 4 possessions, 4 3 and outs for Clay Central.
Jeremy Thompson will try to haul in the punt of Clay Yates. Thompson standing back at about the 20-yard line. Another tough snap. Good punt, though, by Yates. And it will be fielded at about the 23, and that's where the Mustangs will start. First down and 10. Not a lot of offense here early, John. And, again, you see both sides kind of feeling each other out. We're 4:06 left here in this first period. A long day of football here getting underway with a good matchup between 2 quality programs in Stanhope Elmore and Central Clay County.
Makes me wonder if we're going to have anybody get into our Blair Exteriors red zone today in this game.
I'd be satisfied with an Extreme Roofing first down. First and 10 for Stanhope Elmore. And Jalen Walker. Shotgun, he'll give it off. They'll try to break it back and into backfield and drop for about a 5-yard loss. Davion Phillips just really got in behind Trey Duncan, and that is a quick young man coming off this edge. You see him beat the defender, the offensive blocker there, and just runs him down. Great pursuit, and that's going to lose about 4, we'll call it, back at the 16-yard line, so 2nd and 14.
Duncan's quick, but he's not big. You fall down, trip, and you look up, and there's big number 90 breathing down your neck. That's not what you want to see.
This time back to the air. The catch is going to be made out across the 20, 22-yard line, breaking 1 tackle, 2. Then the ball is popped loose, and the Vols are going to pounce on it at about the 17. A big hit late on Connor Bradford. He was struggling for extra yardage, and somebody came in, put the helmet on the football, and jarred it loose, and Clay Yates with the recovery, and the Volunteers will start this drive in the red zone. You see a good pass out here to Bradford. He's hit by Yates initially, spins away, and as he spins around the 3rd time, a big hit in there, and I believe that is going to be number 39. That is Darius Kelly. He will pop it loose. Yates gets the recovery, and the Volunteers will start at the 16-yard line, opening up this drive in the Blair Exteriors red zone. Starting it at the 16, and Stanhope Elmore is going to have to call a timeout to try to get things, and we'll take the break as well. Volunteers in the red zone when we come back in just a moment.
For years, you've known Miller Sand and Landscape Supply for sand, mulch, and topsoil. Now you need to know about this.
Miller Sand and Landscape Supply invites you to visit their all-new outdoor center located at 345 DeArmonville Drive in Anniston. In the Miller Outdoor Center, you'll find beautiful fountains by Massarelli, a large selection of pottery planters, and yard art to complement any outdoor decorating style. You'll also find outdoor chemicals, fertilizers, potting soil, and more. So whether you need a little or a lot, count on Miller Sand and Landscape Supply to help make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
Volunteers open up in the red zone. Brought to you by Blair Exteriors. They specialize in windows, roofing, siding, and decks. You need to call for a free estimate, 205-717-9551. So the Vols go back to the wishbone. 2 tight end. They'll try to power it in. They'll give to J.D. McNeely left side. He will get through the first tackle. Fall forward to about the 12-yard line. So this is Danny Horn back in mid-90 form right here when he switches to the wishbone and brings in the 2 tight ends and gets back to the roots of those Clay County Panther days.
We mentioned this last spring, and if you watch Clay Central this year, you understand that they are so hard to prepare for because they can go spread, they can go wishbone from one play to the next.
And off this time. Quentin Knight on the right side. He'll fall to about the 10. Gain of a couple more.
By the way, talking about the Blair Exteriors red zone, if you'll mention this high school game, you'll get 20% off your next project. 205-717-9551.
Yeah.
Again, 20% off just saying, hey, I saw you guys.
That's right.
On the Central Clay County Stanhope Elmore game.
That would be worth mentioning for sure. Big 3rd down play right here. Ogle's up under center. He'll give it McNeely. He drops it. It's going to be picked off. Stanhope Elmore off to the races. Coming to the near sideline. He's going to take it to the house. That's going to be Quintarius Edwards, and he will return the fumble all the way in for the first score of the day for the Mustangs. McNeely carried it on the left side. I believe he had possession, but a big pop in there by the Mustangs jars it loose. And another turnover this time leads to 6 the other way for Stanhope Elmore.
See the replay immediately. Just not a good connection there between quarterback. He never had the football.
Never had it.
Ball comes out, picks it up at about the 14-yard line. So that's going to be an 86-yard touchdown return on the fumble for Stanhope Elmore. I was sitting here thinking maybe the only score we're going to have in this game may be a defensive score, and Stanhope Elmore got it with an 86-yard kick return. Again, no live kicking here. There will be an extra point attempt, but no one in a blue jersey even on the field for Central Clay County.
So what a momentum shift there. They get the good snap, and the kick is up. And he'll put it through, and Stanhope Elmore goes on top 7-0 after a huge fumble return for a touchdown. And Stanhope gets on the board first. We'll come back. The Volunteers will try to answer as we continue our coverage of the Spring Challenge on TV 24.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
Good look at Quintarius Edwards. The only bad part about returning a fumble 86 yards, you're right back on the field to play defense again. But he may be winded, but you know he's celebrating a big play for Stanhope Elmore early.
It's another thing, conditioning. This is the first real hot weather we've had this year. Probably the hottest day they've had, and they're out here in full pads playing, and he's playing both ways, and they haven't had a lot of days to do conditioning here in the spring. So that young man probably winded for sure.
Volunteers stick to the wishbone. Ogles drops back, going to throw a pass, too tall. Trying to hit Quentin Knight out here. And overshoots him. Going to bring up a 3rd down and close to 11 yards to go.
Playing quarterback is so tough, Tommy. You know, we get so caught up in the mechanics of it and things like that, and the big plays and the guy making a big pass or a big run or something like that. But just the footwork, just the hands-off, the simple things of the which way to turn, making a clean handoff, handling the snap. Those things, the average fan, I think, and the average player that's never played that position, you don't think about it. But we saw in that last possession what a big role that plays in just doing the simple things like getting the handoff.
3rd down and 11 right here. Snap. Ogles drops back. Going to look. Throw it down the middle and too tall. Tried to hit Javon Wood down the middle, and it's going to bring up 4th down. But you talk about all of the fundamental things that the Volunteer quarterback has gone through here in this first half, and we've talked about the low snaps he's had to field, and again the handoff and the pressure that he's had. And it's been a lot here early that you would expect in a spring game. And right now the Volunteer offense is sputtering, facing a 4th down and 11 to go. Clay Yates going to punt the football away.
And you may be saying to yourself, okay, well, this guy is the returning starting quarterback of a state championship team. But at the same time, this is a guy that hasn't really played but 9 practices since December when they played at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So it's been 5 months. So it's not something that you go out there and just do every day. January, February, March, April, you're not out there, you know, making all the turns and making the connections with the handoff. So spring is a challenge now. Back in the old days, you had about a month of spring. You could go really the whole month. You're pretty unlimited on the days. You could practice every day, 2 or 3 hours a day, get out there in full pads. The rules have changed so much that spring training now really is a challenge for coaches. If you talk to the coaches, a lot of schools are even going away from having a spring game.
Right.
A lot of schools here in Calhoun County this year, almost really more than a third of the teams here in the county not even doing a spring game this year.
Well, up until maybe a week before spring practice, Boyd Ogles was the starting catcher on the varsity baseball team, playing 3rd base, and then all of a sudden trying to change, and you get a few practices, and next thing you know, you're out here trying to go against a defense, and so a lot of things change as during the spring sessions. So back to the offensive end for Stanhope Elmore. See if they can get something going offensively. They had their woes on this side of the ball as well. Back to hand it off, and this time a little running out room for Duncan out here, and he'll get across the 40-yard line, 45, And looks like he may move it forward for the Extreme Roofing first down of the ball game.
Nice run that time. Inside, then pops to the outside, uses his speed to get to the corner, picks up 11 yards all the way back across the 45 to the 47-yard line. The first down of the game. That tells you something. 47 seconds to go here in the opening quarter.
Stanhope Elmore with a little bit of momentum here. They'll go back to Duncan again. He's going to get around the outside and chopped down there by Javon Wood. They'll gain a yard. We have second down and 9. So Duncan kind of disappeared for a little bit for that Stanhope Elmore offense. Now back out there again. He's a good-looking athlete back there running the football.
Finding a little success getting to the outside. This will likely be the last play, barring an incomplete pass or out of bounds. Likely be the last play of the opening quarter coming up.
Give it to him one more time. This time hit and dropped. Spilling him back there, Jakeem McLemore. As he brings him down, going to bring up third down and long when we open up the second period. 7-0. Stanhope takes the lead after a big fumble recovery for a touchdown. Our coverage continues right here in just a moment.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Here. 7-0. The Mustangs will face a third down as we open up. And the Chains have it 3rd and 1. Now they're going to switch sides. And yeah, Stanhope, that would have been a much better deal there if you get 3rd and 1 and try to slip one out. But now it's 3rd and 9 as we switch sides there. First, Danny Horn trying to figure out where some offense can come from. And first off, how to get some good blocks up front and try to get some running lanes. 3rd and long. They pump it short, rolling out. Going to try to bounce it, and McNeely's got him, brings him down, and a good stop right behind the line of scrimmage, brings up a 4th down. And if he gets by McNeely there, he's got some running room. But
and the thing about it is, Tommy, he had 2 white jerseys out there that could have picked off McNeely. If he gets that block, he's off to the races. He has not only a first down, he's going to pick up big yardage there. But give McNeely credit, he fought through 2 Stanhope Elmore blockers, made an outstanding tackle to force the punt.
Yeah, right here you look at the first replay. Got players out there, and again, Duncan just could not get the pick. If he gets any kind of body on McNeely.
Yeah, if he just chips him on the shoulder, just enough for him to get by. He's got nothing but green turf over there on the far side of the stadium.
So here comes the Volunteer offense. First down and 10 to go from the 20-yard line. Volunteers had it in the red zone for our only red zone of the day, activity of the day, but fumbled it away, and it resulted in an 86-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. And the Vols open up here with the spread offense. Ogles gives it off in the backfield and nothing there. Again, a loss back to the 16-yard line, and those guys up front are just in the backfield for Stanhope Elmore. They are really getting deep penetration.
This is an impressive defensive line, very athletic. I've noticed now that they've brought in Caleb Stokes and moved him to nose guard. Big guy in the middle, way over 300 pounds. Now they put not only Whitlow out to the end, but they've also come back in with a big guy, number 7, T.J. Jackson, back at his natural defensive end position.
High snap, throw out here to Javon Wood. He will catch it across the 20 to the 23-yard line. So minimal gain there. We'll move it. They'll give it forward progress to the 24, but the first completion of the day for the Vols will set up a 3rd down now and 6.
Really the first makeable 3rd down possession coming up, and we're talking 3rd down and 6 as the first makeable 3rd down for the Vols coming up.
2 wideouts go to either side for Ogles. Quentin Knight back there with him. Big 3rd down play here. Vols would love to get their first down of the day. Ogles gets it, drops straight back. Got pressure again, throws it out, and no can do. Trying to hit Caden McCain on the screen, but Ogles didn't have any time at all, and in his face once again. As you see the pressure coming, and the double pump one more time, trying to get rid of it. He's hit low, and number 9 also, you look at William Whitlow there with his hands in his face, and it's going to force punting time again. And instead of punting the football this time, they said just move it down here and give Stanhope the ball. So they will take over offensively. 7-0, the Mustangs leading the Volunteers. We've got 9:49 left here in this first half.
Well, he had the blockers out here, was set up very well. He had some blockers, had some blue jerseys, may have even picked up the first down, but just too much pressure. Whitlow coming again from the outside, and very impressed with his defensive front, especially the defensive ends. Whitlow and T.J. Jackson, good-looking, great-looking defensive linemen for Stanhope Elmore.
We always say the defense is ahead of the offense in the spring, and that's what you have here because the defense has scored 7 points for Stanhope Elmore. Neither offense has really gotten much going here in this game. Quick pitch around the left side and across the 42 and being pushed out of bounds. That is Teddy Harris on the speed sweep. He'll pick up about 4 yards, brings up 2nd down and 6 for the Mustangs. That's a good-looking play there for Stanhope Elmore as well.
Stanhope Elmore trying to find some success now. They couldn't find success early in the short passing game or the inside run games. They're going outside and finding some success outside, and now they go inside this time, Tommy, and find about 3 or 4 more yards. So a little bit of rhythm now by Stanhope Elmore on the offensive side.
Well, we heard a lot coming in about Trey Duncan, but I'm going to tell you a couple of impressive runs here in the first half. Adrian Lasky.
And now they're going no huddle here, so trying to take advantage of maybe a little bit of this heat here and a little bit of the momentum with a makeable 3rd and 2 coming up.
3rd down and a couple, and they will say he got into the neutral zone. That's going to be Jay Ford over here on the near side. And that will move it forward. And that is an Extreme Roofing first down for Stanhope Elmore into Volunteer territory at the 47-yard line.
Second first down of the game in this quarter now for Stanhope Elmore as they again move into, for the first time offensively, they have a touchdown on the defensive score, but the first time offensively to move into the territory of Clay Central.
Walker, quarterback keeper, tries the left side, going to be hit, and he will be stopped, but he'll gain a couple of yards. Jakeem McLemore makes the stop, gets him low.
As you can imagine, a lot of excitement down in Clay County after winning the 5A state championship last year, evidenced by the big crowd here today. A nice contingent coming from Ashland and Lineville and other parts of Clay County. The volunteer band is here, cheerleaders are here, big crowd making their way up from Clay County this afternoon.
Just waiting for a reason to get a little more excited. They'll try to come up with a stop here. The throw is out here, cannot be held on. He had Teddy Harris with some blockers in front. Harris cannot pull it in. And that's going to bring up 3rd down.
That's the typical herd footsteps coming that time, and there were a lot of blue jerseys coming. We maybe heard some Rocky Top from the Vol band earlier.
Flips it on the outside, and
he was looking before he caught it because he saw those blue jerseys coming. Didn't catch the football, wouldn't have mattered. It was going to be a big loss anyway. And a long 3rd down coming up.
Now, Rocky Top was not initially the fight song of the Volunteers. Not sure if it has made its way, but Coach Danny Horn made that call, and now the band plays it for him pretty much on several occasions. Good coverage out there. They looked again, and that was intended for Teddy Harris, but Elisha McNeil, the fastest player on this team, able to recover and get up and knock it away.
McNeil, great coverage that time. All over the defender, times it very well, jumps up, bats the ball away. Really good coverage over there by McNeil, the corner for Clay Central.
McNeil holds several track records at Clay Central, and an incredible sprinter. as he's getting ready for his sophomore season, but good coverage there to get the football back to this Volunteer offense that's not been able to get anything going. And let's see what they can do here. We got 8:08 and rolling left here in this second period. You see right there Stanford Simmons talking to Elisha McNeil. Simmons played at Auburn University after being a parade All-American at Clay County High School. So if you're a defensive back, when he speaks, I think you might want to take those words.
Might be a wise idea. There he is again, just giving him all kind of instruction over there. What a resource that is to have a guy at the high school level with his knowledge and background to be able to go over there and talk to those DBs. One of the great high school defensive backs in this state probably ever, certainly here in East Alabama.
So on first down and 10, Volunteers come out, line up in the wishbone, and Mustangs will call a timeout again. Didn't like the look they had defensively, but Volunteers going to take over offensively when we come back right after this.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
It's time to get after it. So turn it on, crank it up, and let's get after it together. America's First Small Business Services.
After the timeout, Volunteers have it first and 10, and you saw a change there because Stanhope Elmore had come out with a three-man defensive front, and just as soon as they call that timeout, they see the Volunteers to the wishbone. And they switch to the five-man front and come up with a stop here on first down. And again, it's that man, number 7. That is T.J. Jackson, and he has been impressive here in this first half.
They actually walked up, and they're doing it again, a 6-man front, because they're walking up Quintarius Edwards, the corner, playing at this end. So they got a 6-line front, just daring Clay Central to run the football.
They go to Quentin Knight around the right side. He'll bounce it to about the 22, sets up a third down, and about 8 yards to go. There are some pass plays out of this set for this Volunteer offense, and you may see the call right here. They've got some guys that can get downfield. Third down and about 8. They will stay to the wishbone, and as you said, John, you see that 5-man front, and they sneak up on the outside, and Edwards is sneaking up to the line of scrimmage. That gives a 6, and now 3 makes 9 men in the box. Instead, Ogle's going to keep it around the right side, fakes the pitch, going to keep it, and he will bring it out to about the 28-yard line. So makes it a 4th down and a couple of yards to go right here.
Would Coach Horn think about going for it here? The varsity going to play just for a half, so we're 6.5 to go in the second quarter, 4th down, and a little less than 2 yards to go. What do you think about going for it? It looks like he is.
Yeah, he brings Jakeem McLemore back in there at fullback. That's his power back. And it's 4th down and a couple, so a big play right here for this Volunteer offense. Now 8 men in the box for Stanhope. Handoff is to the right side, and fighting forward is Knight across the 30, and he's got a first down. That time Knight with a spin move picks up the Extreme Roofing first down. And the Volunteers will keep this drive alive with 6:15 left in the first half.
Tommy, they not only had an 8-man front at the snap, they walked up the middle linebacker. He in essence blitzed on the running play. So they had 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, and still Clay Central gets the first down.
2 tight ends with the wishbone look back behind Ogles. Out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Ogles gives it first man through. Just a little running room there for McLemore. Brings up second down. They'll give him a gain of a couple, so 2nd down and 8 right here. Clock is rolling, 5:46, and as we said, the varsity will play the entire first half. And Coach Horn said yesterday maybe a 1 drive in the second, and then they'll begin the substitution pattern. staying in the wishbone. Second down and about 8 here. They'll give it on the right side. Knight to the 35-yard line, and he is chopped down there. Again, that defensive front for Stanhope Elmore has been impressive. We've talked a lot about Jackson, but William Whitlow over on this other side can get it done as well.
And then they bring Stokes in. They really show you about a lot of different looks on that defensive front. When they bring Stokes in, he's kind of like a refrigerator Perry or a Mount Cody, a guy that just kind of plugs this middle up and eats up blockers. Now they're going back to that 6-man front with 3 linebackers that are within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Big third down here. McNeely hitting the backfield, and he's going to be dropped. And again, that is Jackson. So they will lose a couple of yards. Makes it 3rd down and 8. And Coach Horn said punt it away. Volunteers going to have to punt it away after getting their first down of the day. Not able to get much going. So back to Stanhope Elmore. The ball will go here. And they'll have pretty decent decent field position. They'll mark it at the 30-yard line. 1st down and 10.
Apparently Coach Bradford did do some scouting because, as you mentioned and pointed out, anytime they switch to, especially in short yardage situations, switching to the wishbone, they make the adjustment and go to that 6-man front, walking up the linebackers, really almost in essence an 8 or 9-man front there. So I think they did do a little bit of scouting for this game.
Well, his wife is married. Coach Bradford is married to a Clay County girl, so maybe family gave her the inside scoop. Good run here, left side, and Duncan's going to be spun down, but he had a huge hole on the left side, and we'll bring it out to the 36-yard line.
See the replay here. This is not the biggest guy, but we mentioned the speed and moves and agility. Really quick right there from Stanhope Elmore's Trey Duncan. Duncan getting the outside. Nice 1st down game. Probably the best game we've seen on 1st down by either team in this game, getting 6 yards.
Yeah, he brings up 2nd down and 4 right here. Just a good block over here on the near side. Opened up a huge hole. This time, quarterback keeper around the right side, trying to get a block and carrying defenders inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Tough running that time, Jalen Walker. And another Extreme Roofing 1st down, this time for the Stanhope Elmore Mustangs.
Yeah, I think Walker actually, he ran over his teammate out here. Yeah, he ran all over Duncan on the outside. Had to run over him. I think if he didn't run over him, he doesn't get the 1st down.
It is 1st down and 10. They'll go back to Duncan left side. He powers through a couple of defenders, and his teammates are pulling him forward across midfield. And I'm going to tell you what, the assist that time goes to Chase Eddings, the tight end, had him by the shoulder pads and pulled him forward into Volunteer territory at the 49. Watch the Americans' first replay right here. You see him stopped, and you see Eddings grab him right here by the shoulder pads and says, "Come on, big fella, let's get a 1st down." And he pulls him into Volunteer territory. Great effort by Eddings.
Duncan is deceptive. He is a small guy, wiry guy, but deceptive with his strength that time as he just kind of bulldozed his way into that Clay Central defense.
Back to the air go the Mustangs, rolling out. Now coming back, he may tuck it and try to run. Gets to midfield and going to be buried there in a host of blue. He will fall forward to about the Volunteer 49-yard line. That time good coverage downfield, and Walker had to get what he can. Sets up a 4th down now. And about a yard to go for Stanhope Elmore.
Walker could have seen if he could have bounced to the near side over here to the outside, he would have had the 1st down and a whole lot more. Decided to cut it back inside and comes up a yard short of the 1st.
Correction, I'll say it's still 3rd down. They moved the down marker a little earlier than I saw. So Walker on 3rd down and short right here. Got Duncan behind him. Here comes Duncan, hit the backfield, spun down. Good play from the edge. That is Davion Phillips, as he will spill him back and bring up a 4th down. And now about 3, and a timeout is called, this time by Clay Central. They'll call the timeout, but you see Phillips crashing in from that defensive end. He's got great acceleration there, and again, great pursuit brings him down. You got a good look at that senior-to-be right there. Big play for the Vols.
Danny Horn calls timeout, 1:39 to go. Actually, 1:15. They got the 1:39, I think, is what we got on the clock down there. Calls the timeout, and Be interesting to see if he tries to practice some of his 2-minute offense here. We know they can do it. We saw it in the state championship game very effectively when they needed quick scores, not just at the end of that game, when they needed quick scores at any time in that back and forth state championship game. They were able to do it. Ogles is a great quarterback in the clutch. So we'll see here if they take this opportunity to try to run a little 2-minute offense here for Clay Central. One thing too, Tommy, is, and of course with 7 state championships, Danny Horn's been down this road before. But these young people haven't been in this situation. Last year they finished 7-3.
Right.
No one's talking about Clay Central at the 1st of November.
That's right.
Really not until maybe the Etowah game, till everybody thought maybe this team can win a state championship. This year now they're probably going to be preseason #1, and everybody's going to have Clay Central on their schedule.
And a stop defensively. They'll trap it and bring down Walker in the backfield, and he will lose about a half yard, and now the Volunteer offense will take over. Now the question is this: how much of the 2-minute offense have they been able to put in? Now you've got 7 starters back offensively, and you talk about Ogles as a quarterback. Let me just say, if he's not the valedictorian of that class, he is going to be in the top 2 or 3.
Okay.
This is an extremely bright young man with an incredible future ahead of him. So he's the kind that can read a defense and make some things happen. The question is, how much have they been able to practice a 2-minute offense here as they will start this drive, 1st down and 10, and they'll mark it right at midfield.
Only 50 yards to go here. They've got plenty of time and a couple of timeouts.
He's going to ride it, spin it down, and just really tried to tuck it under and get what he could, trying to read that defensive end. And again, making it tough over there is T.J. Jackson, and he is as good as advertised. He has been a fun football player to watch here today.
The offensive line for the Vols, they really had no solution for him or Walker over there. Either one, William Whitworth, I should say. Both those guys have been virtually unblockable for Stanhope Elmore.
2nd and 11, Boyd back running for his life. Throws it, going to be picked off in the middle of the field. And it's going to be brought back the other way. Ball pops loose and recovering it right at midfield. Another interception. And it's Mustang football in midfield. This time with the big INT is Toby Martin. He just sat down in the middle. Ogles tried to escape the pressure, throw it late down the middle. And what's the old rule? Don't throw it late down the middle. And Ogles breaks the cardinal sin there as you see him throw against his body, trying to find Caden McCain. Did not see Martin sitting right there in the path. He picks it off. And it will be Mustang football here as we're under a minute to play in this 1st half. See if Stanhope Elmore tries to come up with a big play. And a flag comes in, and wow, the pass was intercepted out there by Elisha McNeil.
It's going to be a dead ball.
But it's a dead ball, yeah.
I think one of the wide receivers on the far side moved a little early. I think that's going to be the call.
Tried a little out route there, and McNeil, who's had a good 1st half as well. So you see the college game falling its way down to the high school level. You get the belt if you get the INT, and Martin displaying the belt there for the Mustangs.
Yeah, they've been using that a lot today. Already 3 turnovers in this game in the 1st half by Central Clay County.
They give to Duncan. He'll get back to penalty yardage, or about 4 of those 5 yards, and timeout will be called. Let's see. Volunteers. Yeah. Coach Danny Horn wants the football back one more time before the break at half. 46 seconds is what we show on the scoreboard there. Volunteers will looking at a 2nd down at about 11. So 2nd and long, defensive. Like, as you look at the Volunteer defense, it has been strong all day for the most part. We've seen some good runs by Stanhope Elmore, looking at Lasky and also Duncan. But defensively, the Volunteers have played pretty solid. Offensively, this is not a day that the Volunteer offensive coaches are pleased with, I'm sure.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Ogle. And then also you had the fumble that was returned for a touchdown, 86 yards. That's really been the whole key to the game here, than the turnovers by Central Clay County. This is an experienced offense, as you mentioned, Tommy. 7 returning starters coming off a state championship team. They'll get all this kind of stuff fixed. They'll do some 7-on-7 this summer. And Danny Horn, not his first rodeo. No. By the time they line up down at LX City at the Sportsplex in August, they'll have all this figured out.
Stanhope defensively, their line is a stout defensive line. Looking deep, throwing it down there. The coverage is there, and it's going to be tipped around and incomplete. Clay Yates came over to help apply the pressure. And again, nowhere for that football to go for Bradford. And it's batted away. Brings up a 3rd down now. Again, linebacker goes down the field, and then Yates comes over to apply the help into double coverage. And nowhere for Bradford to come down with that. So good play, and again, good coverage, Darius Kelly. And also for Clay Yates defensively. So 3rd down at about 11. 38 ticks of the clock remaining. You get a stop here, you face a 4th down decision. And they will give it to Duncan. He's hitting the backfield and nowhere to go. They'll stop him in his tracks. No gain on the play. And it's going to bring up 4th down for the Mustangs. And it looks like the Vols use their final timeout here in the first half. And we talked a lot about Stanhope Elmore's TJ Jackson, but Davion Kelly for the Vols has had a good day at defensive end as well.
Yeah, very good day, very active. He's really not been blocked. Either one of these guys has been blocked. He's really not been blocked as well. So I guess we'll get a 30-yard punt here. Ball's at their own 49, so they'll have to go probably about 80 yards. See if they can tie this thing up before the half. 31 seconds to go until halftime.
Stanhope Elmore has yet to indicate that they are going to punt it away, but it does appear that way. Yeah, they will move it now.
See Brian Bradford over there, heading into his 3rd season, 6-5 last year, competing in 6A, Region 3. They won 3 of their first 4 games, that including a 19-0 win over Ben Russell. Kind of got away from them later on the season. Still made the state playoffs, lost in the first round of that really powerful Saraland team, 42-14, in the first round of the 6A playoffs last year.
Talking to Coach Bradford this week, he feels like he can really compete in that region this time. And as you said, a tough region to compete in. But Stanhope Elmore heading, they're on one of those northward treks, and one of those teams that you got to watch for down in that region for sure.
They open up on August 23rd in week 0 with Chilton County at home. And then, those next 2 at Prattville, at Ben Russell, and then they go to Calera and Shades Valley. So after being at home the first game, they spend the entire month of September basically on the road, 4 straight road games in the first 5 games of the season.
21 seconds left here in this first half for the Volunteers. They'll take over offensively, and Ogles drops back to pass, throws the screen, going to be caught out here by Knight, and he will pick up a few yards and be spun down at about the 24-yard line. That may be it, unless the Vols can hurry to the line and spike it here as you see the clock rolling down. And I don't know if they're going to be able to spike it in time, and they will not. That will be it for the first half. A defensive showdown here at Burgess-Snow Field between Stanhope Elmore and the Clay Central Volunteers. We'll look at the scoring summary, and it doesn't take too long. A bobble handoff exchange. It's picked up. Stanhope Elmore's Quintarius Edwards takes it to the house for the Stanhope Elmore 7-0 lead.
For great food and great service and a great atmosphere, come and see us at Top of the River in Anniston. At Top of the River, all of our products are prepared fresh daily with our own special recipes, including our farm-raised, grain-fed catfish. Large groups and private groups from 50 to 250 are welcome, and reservations are accepted 7 days a week. And ask about our full on-site catering. Family-owned and operated since 1982 and always kid-friendly. Top of the River in Anniston.
I got back my smack talk touchdown, hole-in-one, 3-point home run, hat trick, pavement pounding, record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up, and I certainly didn't give in. I'm going to get back to doing what I love. I'm going to get back to winning.
Hi, my name is Reverend Jeffrey C. Williams, the owner and licensed funeral director of Anderson Funeral Services. At Anderson Funeral Services, we are compassionate and caring individuals committed to providing quality and professional service at affordable prices. We are where service begins and never ends, and love is what love does.
Aniston Funeral Services offers affordable services to meet any need for all families. Aniston Funeral Services, 630 South Wilmer Avenue, where service begins and never ends.
I was finally ready to buy my first home after renting for the last several years. As I started my search, I got overwhelmed by how many websites and confusing listings there are. That's when I found the experts at ERA King. To me, ERA means expertise, reliability, and activity. I depended on them to find a home in my budget, and they didn't stop working until the keys were in my hands. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
A sunny day at Burgess-Snow Field here on this May afternoon now. It has been a warm day, and John, we've had the opportunity to watch this game from our perspective, and as we talked about, defense so far ahead of the offense, and I think you look at both, there are some different elements that you can count on for both Clay Central and for Stanhope offensively, but in this first half, it's all defense.
It's been all defense. I think that goes back to what we're seeing is you just don't have the time. With only 9 practices leading into today, some of those have to be in shorts and shoulder pads. Right. So you just don't have a whole lot of time to prepare offensively to get the timing down, all the things that you would expect in a great offense. And so we're seeing a defensive showdown here today between two pretty talented football teams. I think Stanhope Elmore is going to have a good season. Obviously, Clay Central is going to have a good season, defending 5A state champions with a lot of returnees coming back. And overall, they actually look better physically than they did here last year when we saw them against Lawrence County.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And they'll get into that offseason program, and you'll see a Clay Central team that offensively, they got to get that line going so they can protect Boyd Ogles. The first turnover really off the receiver's hands, and then the defense, though. We've talked about T.J. Jackson the whole first half. He has been everywhere. But this defense for Clay Central, they can make it happen as well, getting a turnover there after the catch by Connor Bradford set him up deep, but a bobble between the quarterback of Ogles and handing it off, and it's picked up, and Edwards goes the distance for the only score here in the first half. Ogles, you look at him, he's been on the run, trying to throw it late across the middle, and another big pick that really nullified a drive there, and that ended that. But we're at 7-0 there, but, John, we got a busy day of football coming our way.
Coming up next, we've got Sparkman coming down from the north to take on Gardendale, Springville against Dora, and Lynn taking on Phil Campbell in the last game of the day.
Hey, it's Nicholas Dover at Dover's Mattress Closeout Center, and I just want to tell you the difference between us and any other mattress store. We are a closeout center. We take name brand mattresses and we discount them 50 to 75% off retail. We have locations in Birmingham, Fultondale, Coleman, Guntersville, and Jasper. Go to doversmattress.com and find out so much more. You can also check out our financing. We have credit check and no credit needed. Apply online.
At Westwood Appliance, we buy, sell, and service most major brands like Whirlpool, Kenmore, Maytag, Samsung, and GE. We carry a complete line of refrigerators, washers, dryers, stoves, and freezers, and we guarantee what we sell.
Use your head, trade with Ed.
You see the teams out here on the field. Mostly you see these fans moving up to the shade, John, as we talked about today's temperature. It's going to be a hot one, and that is a very smart move from a lot of fans to move up into the shade and be able to, especially during this halftime, and the band taking a break as well. It is a hot afternoon, and John, we get into the heat of the summer and all these players, and we talked about the conditioning program that these two teams will be going for in the fall. In the summer, they go through this 7-on-7s and things like that. It's going to be a very active season, and football is now a year-round sport.
It really is, and we're seeing that here with spring football right into 7-on-7 this summer.
Second half action comes your way when we return.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Mark Boatler.
And I'm Jody Jones. We are Extreme Roofing and Construction. With our 20-plus years of roofing and insurance claims experience, we may be able to get you the roof you've been wanting but just didn't have the budget. It starts with an inspection, and from there we'll determine if a claim needs to be filed. We'll make that call with you, and we'll also meet with your adjuster. At Extreme, we do not ask for any money up front. We only ask for the money after the completion of the job. Or if you just want a cash estimate, we can do that for you as well. Give us a call today at Extreme Roofing and Construction.
Hey, George Sides Jr. with Sides Furniture. We're located in Dora. We also offer appliances, and one of our featured appliances brand would be the Speed Queen washers. If you're looking for an old-fashioned washer and dryer, Speed Queen is going to be that model. They come in manual knob construction. They come in digital panel timers as well. The main thing about these washers, they have an agitator. They fill up full with water. They have, starting with a 3-year in-home parts and labor warranty all the way up to a 7-year in-home parts and labor warranty. Toughest washer built in the market today, by far one of the best machines you'll ever own. We are located in Dora, sidesfurniture.com. What you can't get anywhere else, come and see us today.
Already a member of the Hall of Fame, Coach Danny Horn, again, wins 299 as he heads into the 2019 season. And one of the most highly thought of coaches in the state of Alabama, John.
No doubt about it. Going to go down as one of the legendary coaches in state history. A very short halftime. See a smile from Coach Horn. You know it's spring when you get Danny Horn smiling on the sidelines during the middle of the game when his team is down 7-0 at the half and he's smiling on the sidelines. It tells you, Tommy, it's not the regular season.
Right. And not just getting a smile in general, not even if they're down or up. It doesn't matter if they're up by 30. Getting a smile is kind of tough until the game's over. But he knows that he's got some elements and some parts of a team that can turn into another state championship contender. The offensive line, something that's a work in progress. They're going to kind of develop that as the season goes on. And then, like I said, in the offseason, and the timing will be much better, I'm sure, when they open up the year. I'll say this. Clay County in years past, when they won 55 games in a row, a lot of people may not remember it, but they used to play a fall jamboree, and there were times that they would, in this fall jamboree, lose to teams that may not go on and win but 2 games the whole year. He uses things such as today to motivate the workouts, to really get them back and focus. So we'll see how it goes, and got some fresh faces out there. We'll try to run those down for you. New players in there, handoff on the right side and bring it out again. That is Lasky on the carry as he has a good run over here on the near side, brought down by Beck Freeman. He'll get the stop, but not before Lasky can pick up 9 yards. It brings up 2nd down and 1.
We more than likely are done with varsity players for both of these teams. The plan was a half of varsity play and then getting into some of the junior varsity players and maybe even some junior high players before the day is done.
Yeah, they'll go back to Lasky, this time wrong side, and the quarterback's going to keep it on a busted play, bounces it outside, going to be hit from behind, breaks 2 tackles, and then spins down to the 40-yard line. A great play again. That is Teddy Harris. They have him as the one of the offensive wide receivers, so you know he's got quickness. You see the back go the wrong way, and it's make what you can out of it. And he bounces through a couple of defenders and gets out here before he's finally hauled in, but another big gain for Stanhope Elmore.
Almost a 25-yard gain. That's the biggest play from scrimmage, and it comes on a busted play. That's kind of the way it works sometimes. A game with no offense, and your biggest play comes off a busted play.
So Harris in there now at quarterback. He'll take it. Going to give it to the right side and coming to the near side, getting some gains again inside the 35, 30-yard line, 25, and then knocked out of bounds. That was a good run that time by Andrew Rhines, who is in there. As you see, he's got good speed, gets on the outside, gets a good block, cuts it back in. And you see Stanhope Elmore ripping off some chunks of real estate here with another Extreme Roofing first down just outside the 22-yard line.
Good move by Rhines that time, shedded the defender. Stutter step inside, cut back outside, picked up about another 15 yards.
It's Rhines again. This time he's hauled into the backfield. Good stop. And slinging into the turf that time is going to be Brad McCormick as he'll get the stop. They're in the middle of that defense. Good look there at McCormick. Loss on the play of about a yard. Brings up a 2nd down and 11. 7-0 Stanhope Elmore with a lead in the varsity game. And as we said, this is a lot of your younger players getting in the action right here. Very important time for them. We'll talk about that as Harris gets the keeper on the left side. He's got another gap to the outside inside the 15-10, and he will fall forward. They will say the knee down at the 10-yard line. But again, Teddy Harris is showing the wheels. As you look at the America's First keeper replay here, gets a good block. Defensive pressure runs over a defender, and he'll take it down to the 10-yard line. But now the Blair Exteriors red zone is operating for Stanhope Elmore, given the backfield. Good stop and being dropped. Again, the carry that time was by Rhines. And the stop for Clay Central is Devin Zachary up with a hit. You see Zachary with a big club on the left hand, a couple of broken fingers. And so he's out there playing one-handed. He gets a big stop there. 2nd down and goal from about the 11-yard line. Mustang ball up to Rhines. Gets in the middle of that defense and going to be stopped there. This time coming up with the stop for the Vols, number 71, Silas Pearson.
We actually have a team legitimately, not because of a turnover, in the Blair Exteriors red zone for the first time today.
I mean, the thing about it is this is the first offensive drive we've seen. And you talk about Blair Exteriors, right? Get your pencil and paper ready. I'm going to give you a phone number in just a second. And a great opportunity for you to get in touch with them. Harris with the keeper, goes to the right side, bounces off the first defender to the 5-yard line, and then pushed out of bounds at about the 3, and a late flag coming in from the head official, and a holding going to be the call against Stanhope Elmore. But folks, let me tell you something about Blair Exteriors. They specialize in windows, roofing, siding, decks, and write this number down, 205-717-9551. You get a free estimate, but more importantly right now, if you mention this game that you're watching right now, you get 20% off of your project. So regardless of the cost, 20% off for calling that number and saying, hey, I was watching the spring football game and saw the ad.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't need some work done on their windows, the exterior, the roofing, siding, your deck maybe this spring and summer? Just think, if it's a $1,000 project, for instance, that's going to save you $200 just by mentioning that you saw this during the Central of Clay County and Stanhope Elmore football game.
3rd down and long. Quarterback rolls out to the left. It's Harris. He's trying to get to the outside, and they will stop him at about the 2-yard line. Again, you see Harris just really quarterback sweep all the way. Shows the great speed. Gets down to the 2, but it's going to be 4th and goal. Little bootleg action. One man out in the pattern. He turns and starts blocking, but you look there. Good effort by Clay Central's number 7, Davion Thomas, just to break out of there and get him dropped before he gets into the end zone. So it's going to bring up 4th down and goal. And got a player going to have to check out for Central. I believe that is number 9, and that's Cam Simmons. And so that brings in LaKendrick Hayes.
4th and goal at the 1-yard line. Big play here, obviously.
I think you're going to go back to Rhines and see what he can get. That big guy can get up front. I mean, he's run the ball extremely hard. Nope, quarterback keeper up the middle. He tripped and hits him. Well, they'll say he gets into the end zone as he slipped at about the goal line and just somehow stuck the football over. And now Stanhope Elmore takes a 13-0 lead over Clay Central. Just good blocking over here on the left side. And forward progress inside the end zone. And Stanhope Elmore's on the board for the first time offensively today. First offensive touchdown we've seen. And it's a 1-yard plunge by Teddy Harris.
Harris, a good-looking player, speed-wise, really maybe the fastest guy, most elusive guy we've seen on the Stanhope Elmore roster so far. By the way, clock is still running. We had heard that we may have a running clock in the second half, and that apparently is going to be the deal here in the 3rd and 4th quarters with a running clock, as we are now rolling toward 5 minutes.
14-0. Stanhope Elmore takes the lead. It'll be the Volunteer offense when we come back. The Spring Gridiron Challenge continues right after this.
For a high-flying adventure of a lifetime, visit the new Screaming Eagle Zipline Canopy Tour and Aerial Adventure Park at Lake Guntersville State Park. Fly above and through the treetops at heights up to 250 feet on Alabama's largest high-speed zipline course. The Screaming Eagle is a safe and family-friendly adventure course that allows you to explore Lake Guntersville State Park from the point of view of the park's famous bald eagles and enjoy amazing views of Lake Guntersville. Book your aerial adventure tour today by calling 256-886-2517 or book online at LakeGuntersvilleZipline.com.
For years, you've known Miller Sand and Landscape Supply for sand, mulch, and topsoil. Now you need to know about this.
Miller Sand and Landscape Supply invites you to visit their all-new outdoor center located at 345 DeArmonville Drive in Anniston. In the Miller Outdoor Center, you'll find beautiful fountains by Massarelli, a large selection of pottery planters, and yard art to complement any outdoor decorating style. You'll also find outdoor chemicals, fertilizers, potting soil, and more. So whether you need a little or a lot, count on Miller Sand and Landscape Supply to help make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
Some reserves in there for the Volunteers. They get a offside penalty before the first snap. So first down and 5 at the 40-yard line. Clay Yates in there, quarterback, off to Jalen Woods. He's got a little running room over the near side, and he'll pick up the Extreme Roofing first down out to about the 49-yard line.
Monte Davis has jumped off sides on first down for Stanhope Elmore, setting up that 1st and 5. And nice play by Clay Central to pick up the first down out around midfield as the Vols, with the clock running, it will be a running clock the rest of the way. Under 3.5 to go here in the third, trying to get on the board for the first time.
Yates gives it off again to Woods. This time not as much success. He will maybe struggle back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of about a half yard. A good stop in there by the Mustangs. Jeremiah Cherry. He'll get the stop there.
Mentioned the big crowd here from Clay Central, the band and cheerleaders. Also, nice little contingent here making their way up from Elmore County, from Millbrook, to support the Stanhope Elmore Mustangs, making the 2.5-hour plus trip up Highway 21.
This time Yates on the keeper. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. We'll try to get a look at some of the players in there for both teams, some of these younger guys. Good stop that time. You see right there, that is going to be Avion Miles as he'll get the stop. So Clay Central offensively looks like Brad McCormick at a tackle. Carter Young still in there. Also you got Austin Harris at a guard. Right side Silas Pearson. Clay Yates the quarterback. He'll keep it in trouble in the backfield. Spins away from the first guy and then chopped down. And that defensive front for Stanhope Elmore picks up right where the first unit left off. America's first replay. You see Yates with a good spin move there, but then chopped down in the backfield. Just nowhere to go, and we'll give the credit that time. Number 31, and that is Gabe Taunton for Stanhope Elmore. And it's 4th down, so Vols will, in theory, punt the football away. Stanhope Elmore takes over offensively.
Mustangs still a little mix of a couple of starters in there. Caleb Stokes was still in at nose guard that time for the Mustangs. And let's see, the last drive by Stanhope Elmore with these second-team guys with Teddy Harris at quarterback. I think they're going to a third quarterback now. It looks like they're going to bring Tyler Tyus in. So this will be the third quarterback we've seen in the game now for Stanhope Elmore. See if they can keep the offense rolling like they did on the last drive.
Tyus in there will take the snap, gives it off over on the left side. Good hard running. That's Amaji Truss on the carry. He'll pick up about 7 yards, brings up 2nd down and 3. Truss in there. Also splitting out to the near side for Stanhope Elmore, trying to get some of these younger guys. Thomas Jackson is out here. They'll go back to Truss. Got a flag on the play. As that's going to be illegal procedure against the Mustangs and move it back. So from 2nd and about 3, we'll call it 2nd and 8 now for Stanhope Elmore.
With the running clock likely to be the last play of the third quarter coming up here.
It is a quick moving third period. Tyus from the shotgun, got 2 receivers going to either side. Truss back there behind him. Moving up, changes the play at the line. He'll give it to Truss. Truss goes left side, bowls over a defender, but he's brought down short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 when we open up the 4th period. A look at the touchdown. Teddy Harris gives Stanhope Elmore a 2-score lead in the Spring Gridiron Challenge right here on TV 24.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
Don't just dream it. Call Family Savings Credit Union. Right now, get something you want for as low as 2.24% APR. You can even apply online or by phone. Family Savings Credit Union, where your money grows with you and your family.
Good look there at the volunteer cheerleaders as they made the trip to JSU today along with the volunteer marching band. 5A state champions opening us up here on this Saturday Gridiron Challenge. 3rd down, going to be the handoff again to Truss, and he will just take defenders forward and fight his way to the 40-yard line. Good, tough running by Truss. Picks up another Extreme Roofing 1st down for Stanhope Elmore.
A lot of good young talent on this Stanhope Elmore team. One thing that I'm impressed with the Mustangs is their depth. Not a whole lot of drop-off. Some of these guys they brought in off, I think they got a good backup quarterback, good young guy with Harris coming in. And Truss has been a very impressive player, young guy back there running the ball for Stanhope Elmore.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a lot of good running backs there for the Mustangs. Coach Brian Bradford's got that luxury, and here comes Truss right side, and he'll get past the defender. Pops the ball loose as he gets to the 45-yard line. Good hit over there to jar it loose, but it goes out of bounds. It will stay Mustang football. And you see Truss right here just accelerate, finds a gap, gets by the first defender, but a good pop in there. And it's jarred loose, brings up 2nd down.
Lucky that ball went out of bounds because there were 3 blue jerseys over there. If that ball doesn't go out of bounds, we may have another fumble return for a touchdown.
Beck Freeman with the hit to pop it loose. 2nd down and about 6 yards to go. Clock continues to roll. A little confusion there. Now the handoff to Rhines. He will slip through a tackle. Take it inside Volunteer territory to about the 46-yard line.
Rhines a tough young player too. We've seen some good runs from him in these drives here in the 3rd and 4th quarter. By the way, this 4th quarter, not only a running clock, but only 10 minutes instead of the customary 12. So this is going to be a very, very quick 4th quarter here.
1st down and 10 after another Extreme Roofing 1st down for the Mustangs. They'll stay with that shotgun. Tyus and Truss in the backfield. They'll keep feeding it to Truss, and he keeps churning out yardage. He goes across the 40-yard line, and he'll hammer his way down to about the 37. So he's getting 9 and 10 yards. Seems like every time he touches the football, and they're having their way with this Volunteer defense and moves it down. 2nd down and about a yard to go.
Truss by far the 3rd team, I guess, running back coming in. He's going to be by far the leading rusher in this game for either team.
14-0 Mustangs with the lead. And it's 2nd down and short. They'll go handoff in the backfield. Nope, stop short. Good play that time by the Volunteers. Number 47, Brady Grice. Going to be a sophomore this fall, and he'll get the stop. Brings up 3rd down and a couple.
Taking a look at the America's First replay here, just nowhere to go. Good penetration that time by Clay Central. Truss has had his way in this drive, but that time nowhere to go. Kind of slipped on the turf here. Also a couple.
3rd down play here. Vols try to stop this drive that the Mustangs are on. Handoff right side, 1st down and more inside the 35. And down to about the 32-yard line on the carry that time, Antonio Trone, as he gets the carry for another Extreme Roofing first down.
Coming up next, more big school football. Sparkman Senators and the Gardendale Rockets will square off for a whole game. Already got the Dora Bulldogs in the house. They're sitting here on the east end zone of the stadium right now. They're getting ready for game 3 against the Springville Tigers, who, by the way, last night won the Class 5A state championship in baseball down at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery. So congratulations to the Springville Tigers on winning that state championship in baseball.
High snap, going to be picked up, and coverage is there. They'll bring them back outside the 40 at the 41-yard line. Talking about Springville, what a big game last night. The Tigers get it. And I'm going to tell you, if their football team is as physical as this dog pile at the mound, you're in for a treat tonight. But a big win for Springville as they capture the 5A championship. And we're hoping to have Braden Hughes, the MVP of that game and of the series, joining us at halftime of that Springville-Dora game later today. Second down and long. New quarterback in there for the Mustangs, and that is going to be Randy Gilder. And I believe we got a delay of game here.
Then our fourth game of the day and the final game scheduled to kick off, so to speak, at 4:30 will be the Lynn Bears taking on the Phil Campbell Bobcats. Phil Campbell replacing Coosa Christian at the last moment. Both teams coming from Northwest Alabama here to put the nightcap, so to speak, on our festivities here at JSU Stadium. One thing that's been a consistent, Tommy, through all the years that we've had spring football here at JSU, it's always just like this, sunny and hot.
That's exactly right. Handoff left side, trying to get some running room on the corner, and doing so on the carry that time. It's Antonio Trone, and he can make things happen. The clock rolling now. Under 4.5 minutes left. I know that Coach Danny Horn and Coach Brian Bradford, their intentions were to get everybody in the ball game. They may have a tough time doing that with that running clock here in the second half. But a good run right there by Trone as he goes out of bounds over here on the near side.
We've seen 4 really good running backs from Stanhope Elmore in this game.
So they'll continue their drive with 4 minutes left here in this ball game. And timeout is called by Coach Brian Bradford, and they will stop the clock with 3:58 remaining here in this matchups. Again, a 14-0 lead for the Mustangs. Good look there, Coach Bradford, as he's got his troops playing well today. We'll continue with our coverage right after this.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
Coach Brian Bradford, great performance here today to wind up spring practice, leading 14-0 late over Clay Central. Quarterback keeper right side. A flags come in from all angles. I believe there's going to be a plethora of holding calls against the Mustang offense here.
I think every official who had a yellow flag threw it on that one. Clock continues to run, though. 3.5 to go here in the game.
Coach Danny Horn out on the field. I believe he is trying to get some way. He is calling a timeout, trying to get more people in the ball game. As Coach Horn will stop it with 3:21. You see him there. He just wanted telling the defense to stay out there. He just wants to stop the clock and try to get more people in the game. Good move there. Some of the guys in there trying to get numbers and names.
He may be communicating that. He's talking to the official. He may be communicating that, saying, hey, we're going to take a lot of timeouts here and get a lot of guys
right
out.
Try to get some folks into the ball game. Checking back in, Zion Dark Also in there defensively, Chandler McClure is in there. Third down and long for the Mustangs here. They're just going to keep the ball on the ground, you would assume, and try to run this thing out. Coach Horn trying to, obviously knows he's not going to come out on top on the scoreboard, but try to get more guys into the ball game here late. They get another stop defensively, which will bring up fourth down, and the timeout is called immediately. And Coach Horn forces them into a fourth down and long.
Tommy, beautiful day here in Jacksonville. You know, last year when we were here broadcasting these spring games, we were only 2 months removed from the F3 tornado that came through in March of last year. And there were still a lot of big scars on this campus.
Right.
A lot of roofers were out here working. We had a shot of that on Saturday afternoon, still working. Now we're 14 months later instead of 12 months later, and there's still some scars, but it's amazing how this campus is getting somewhat back to normal and how a lot of the scars have been erased. There's still some viewpoints here that didn't used to be here. You could still see the First Baptist Church of Jacksonville over in the distance. You see the dorms over there. Those were where we saw workers last year. Actually, out here on Saturday, working on the roof of the dorms right across over there at Fitzpatrick Hall. And now all of that, we're building the new, it's like a new music building over there. We've got going on, new construction going on. But it's remarkable what has been done in the last 12 months or 14 months on this campus after the tornado.
Volunteers take over offensively. Keeson Lindsey in there at quarterback. He'll keep it around the right side, looking for a block, bounces it outside, shows great speed down the near sideline. Keeson Lindsey out in front of the pack, and Lindsey is going to take it to the 15-10 and into the end zone for a volunteer touchdown. Keeson Lindsey rips off a huge run for the Volunteers, and that's something to build on for the summer and make summer workouts a little better for the Vols.
Lindsey with an 80-yard touchdown run. Just fakes the inside read option, comes to the outside. Nice job of reading the defenders. Tight walks the sidelines, almost stepped out, and then look at him outrun all three of the last Stanhope Elmore defenders to the end zone. And if you've been watching football in Clay County over the years, Lindsey is a name that pretty famous down through the years.
Yeah, there's been a few Lindsays that have done exactly what this young man did right here. He is only going to be a freshman. He is an 8th grader. Whew. And as you see there, extremely talented athlete and a good run there to get the Vols on the board. And the kick is up, and it is no good. That kick, I believe Edvin Morales on with that. And again, you see the play right here. Fakes the inside handoff and then just comes around the right corner. Stutter steps, sets up his blocks, and then just pretty much kicks in the afterburners, and a great shot of him schooling the defense and just scooting down the sideline here. You see the acceleration, gets outside of the pack, and Keeson Lindsey takes it the distance. So Volunteers get on the board. Makes it a 14-6 score with clock rolling, about a minute left, so a couple plays away, and that will wrap up this spring game here. There, see the coaches on the sideline still trying to get everybody into the ball game that they can, as we're under a minute left. High snap, bobble in the backfield, and then taken out of there and getting what he can. Good run that time by Tyler Tyus. Checking in now, going to be Terry Heflin. He is also going to be a freshman, as he will check in. And we talked about one of the players, Elisha McNeil, a little bit earlier being the fastest. Heflin may be a close second. Also coming into the ball game, number 65, Evan Horn. He will check in. Clock rolls down, and this may be the final play of the ball game. And the keeper on the right side, nothing doing. Beck Freeman, also Brady Grice with the stop. They're trying to get players in. One player not getting in just because of that 80-yard run is number 54 on their sideline, Brody Wood for Clay Central, as he did not get into the game because of the big run on the offensive side of the ball. But hey, it's going to be a fun fall in both of these schools. I'm going to tell you, impressive performance. Stanhope Elmore today, their defensive front is a very good group to have in the trenches. Very impressed with the way those guys played. They've got a lot of good running backs, and an impressive performance here by Stanhope Elmore. You see Coach Brian Bradford there And he has really got this program on the upward trend, and he brings a lot of energy to that sideline and continues to just develop talent at Stanhope Elmore, getting his system. And you talk about when you bring a new coach in, John, usually that third year is when it really becomes your program. And I think Bradford does a great job with them. So we will go ahead and take a break and come back and wrap things up and set the stage for the rest of the day. We've got a busy day here at Burgess-Snow Field, and we continue our coverage all day long right here on TV 24.
When it comes to great